There's no doubt about it that by far, two of the Star Wars shows that have been going through a lot of setbacks, delays, and just problematic situations are, of course, both the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, which, of course, both are under Kathleen Kennedy's leadership. She has full control, for the most part, over those series and exactly how they are going to operate within the story. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, granted, yes, we do have Bob Iger making a lot of new choices for the upcoming universe, changing elements of the roadmap, focusing more on movies again rather than only Star Wars shows. That's his big goal right now. But apart from all of that, Kathleen Kennedy's end is near. There is a big plan by Bob Iger and the board of directors to get her out by August of 2023, just 2 whole months after the release of The Dial of Destiny, also known as Indiana Jones 5. So there's a lot of, effort going into changing Star Wars, essentially, and kind of giving it a fresh take. And this all starts, by the way, with The Bad Batch 2, Mando Season 3, Ahsoka. Those are going to be the 3 big projects by, of course, John and Dave and other creatives coming on board to really kind of create a momentum to propel us into 2024 and beyond. Now, with that being said, however, at no surprise, Kathleen Kennedy once again betrayed and backstabbed George Lucas. We're going to be tapping into every single detail about what really went wrong and exactly what happened behind the scenes of a specific Star Wars project that George Lucas has a lot of issues with right now based on what Kathleen Kennedy recently did to him personally. So let's tap right into all of this. Now, with both Disney and Lucasfilm getting ready to make some big announcements at Celebration, creators FAVREAU and FILONI are preparing to finish The Mandalorian Season 3. Now, it's known, of course, however, that just recently, Kathleen Kennedy betrayed George Lucas once again over something substantial when she recently made a decision for one of her upcoming Star Wars projects. Now, just recently, Kennedy deleted and cut out a very important scene from the Acolyte's script that was initially agreed upon to be used between both Lucas and Kennedy that was going to consist of a flash forward that would actually showcase the prophecy of Anakin Skywalker in the Acolyte series. Actor Hayden Christensen was supposed to come back for a very detailed scene in which Yoda was set to have a major cameo in which he would have a vision of Anakin where he wouldn't know who he was at the time. However, in this vision, Anakin is hooded and wielding a red lightsaber blade. The vision is supposed to be an accurate yet also inaccurate depiction of him on the night of Order 66. Now let me just pause here for a second. Now, for those of you that are out of the loop, the Acolyte takes place roughly, and they say roughly, 100 years before the Phantom Menace. And we're going to get a slightly younger, or we're supposed to get a slightly younger Yoda, in which he was supposed to have this real detailed vision of Anakin, where he doesn't know who he is, he just knows that this is a Sith that rises in the next couple of, decades, that's going to actually pose a great threat against the Jedi. Now, this is something that George Lucas actually wanted to implement into the story. Not just to have 2 major cameos in the Acolyte being Anakin and Yoda, but he also wanted them to actually be done in a very different way that we have never seen before. So, basically, this was going to be an inaccurate vision, yet almost near accurate, where it has a hooded Anakin with a red lightsaber blade ignited. Once again, kind of giving you a what could have been type of situation if he really had that Darth Vader saber without being in the suit, right? Now, that would have been very nice and all to see, and Hayden was all set and ready to actually begin filming that scene by February of next year. That's when they were set to actually do it. However, Kennedy, once again, at no surprise, backstabbed George Lucas. This all went down about 2 weeks ago and was finalized for the show, where she just wrote this out of the script, got rid of Hayden, got rid of Yoda coming back as a puppet. Yes, they wanted to get Puppet Yoda back once more, and it was going to be done by Frank Oz, by the way, but they completely just ditched that idea and put it in the rear view window. And you know what? When you look at something like this, of how Kennedy operates, you know, as a leader when it comes to a Star Wars show like this. I feel like a show like The Acolyte needed something of a connection to the prequels, and this was probably their only big shot at doing that. You know, implementing Yoda and the Jedi Order, showcasing a flash forward of Anakin and the rise of the Sith, all of these amazing things just completely written out at the flip of a dime. And I'll never understand that. You know, obviously she has some kind of problem. Now, on to the next thing. Now, this vision of the future in which Yoda witnesses the rise of the Sith decades from this point in time would follow Yoda's belief in the Chosen One for the years to come. This was the actual very scene that Kennedy decided to delete from the entire story, taking out both Anakin and Yoda, and George was extremely unhappy about that decision. Hayden was also very upset behind the scenes over Kennedy's choice to write him out of the show. Now, Kennedy felt that this scene was going to be too dark in tone for the Acolyte and didn't want a gritty moment in her show. So that's also another ridiculous thing to me. She didn't want something that was too dark or gritty, yet you're making a show called The Acolyte that's about the Sith. And that also leaves me quite worried. How lighthearted is this show going to be if it's about the Sith? That really worries me, and I'm sure it worries a lot of you guys out there. If she felt a vision of, like, Anakin going full dark side that we have never seen before, similar perhaps to how we saw Dark Rey in the cave, it could have been something like that, maybe, you know, even darker. Kennedy did not even want that because it was too gritty of a scene. I'll never understand that, I just won't, because this is a story about how the Sith infiltrate the Jedi Order, and how they also, you know, intervene with the Jedi themselves. Now, that's another thing, is that where is that going to lead into the Phantom Menace, right? So, when you look at everything where she just completely changes her mind, like that, like the snap of a finger, and just completely disregards some powerful moments for Anakin, for Yoda, etc., all these callbacks. I understand that cameos are never the answer to making a show great, but it's also a nice little thing to look forward to. John and Dave realized that the cameos are not what necessarily make the story, but they're like the little, you know, icing on top of the cake, right? It really kind of adds this nice layer to the show, something to really look forward to, something that's always in the back of your mind, episode to episode, like who are we going to see next? Who's going to come in this episode? It's a new format, it's a new style by John and Dave to have cameos constantly coming into the Star Wars universe, having these epic entrances. That's what I like about John and Dave. They're making Star Wars very much a fun thing on television, and showcasing cameos are something to truly look forward to. And I think that's one reason why, you know, a lot of fans would have wanted to see this. Now, overall, guys, you know, I would love to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.